Okay, so I guess it's going to be my first YouTube video. I'm going to go over the stats and skills for the new Bridal / Green Banner. So we have a lot of great units. We'll go from left to right. So starting off with Micaiah, who is 39, terrible speed, terrible defense, but obviously she has good attack and good res. And I don't really think her res is that important. I guess Mystic Boost is to help with that, but Mystic Boost in her base kit, which is shown here. Yeah, I'll put these in order. Okay, so she has Mystic Boost, Attack Res Push, which is to boost her only 2 good stats. Her speed is terrible and her defense is utterly useless. Attack Res though doesn't seem too useful. I guess if she's next to somebody then it's buffs to her, but aside from that, she's not getting a whole lot out of it. And her weapon. So her weapon is obviously dual effective. I believe every Micaiah thus far has been dual effective. And if bonuses so any like rally or anything like that, then she's attack res +6. Once again, her only 2 good stats. And if unit initiates combat, foe cannot make a follow-up attack. So that's basically like Alphonse's imbued kimono, or New Year's Alphonse. So that was slaying foe can't make a follow-up attack. I know Legendary Leaf has it. It's pretty standard for them to give. So next up, we'll get to her dual skill later because that's a whole mess. Next is sorry, let's go with this. 39 attack. As far as 39 attack, I think it's the second highest mage attack. I don't remember who's higher than her, but I remember seeing a 40 at least once. Yeah, Micaiah definitely a great unit. Duo skill, which we will go over later, is definitely worth it. Next we have Bride Oboro, which is a little strange to see her. She's definitely like a more min-max version of standard Oboro, except she actually has a speed stat for some reason. So we see 42 attack, 42 HP, 39 attack. Also, sorry these are in whatever language this is. This is just what was on Reddit. It's just 40 defense and 16 res. So obviously you're not going to be wanting tanking any resistance based damage. So DC is basically not an option. Distant foil is okay, I guess, but she's does not want to hit anything. She's not want to get hit by anything res. Let's see. So her kit, she has attack def form, which was on Abel. Not great. Pretty. I don't love the form skills. They're just like drives, but in the A slot. They're kind of strange to me. I'll add pulse tie. Start of turn, start of odd number turns. It's just even pulse tie. It wasn't really anything to begin with. It's nice to have to kind of like IP teams, but aside from that, it's not great. It's very, very, very niche. So I guess we're having a high HP stat that I believe it was 42. Yeah, 42 HP. That's pretty good for base attack, or for base HP. Not to mention that you can refine her pledged blade. And that is, the bonus is active, grants attack defense +4, and basically breath. Or the defensive half of breath. It's like the opposite of heavy blade. So and it says you cannot stack it, but I believe if you run steady breath on her, then she'll get one extra charge when she gets it, and she'll still deliver at the extra charge when she hits back on enemy face. So it's not great. I guess you can run it with heavy blade because they do the exact opposite of each other. Yeah, but pledged blade is pretty good. extra stats definitely help as well. So, moving on. Next is Rafiel. Very strange. I'm pretty sure there's something in Radiant Dawn lore that says that he can't fly. I don't know the lore because I have not played Radiant Dawn. However, I'm very happy to play it on stream at some point. 41 res. Definitely throwing out big numbers. His attack is pitiful, but he's a dancer, so it shouldn't mean a whole lot. He's got 35 speed. He's definitely not a bad unit. It's kind of strange that it's infantry because when you think about units like Grayson or like really good flyers, like having that 3 movement flyer is super good. And when you look at Rafiel, who is 4-star, but he's not 3 movement or a flyer, so he's basically just another infantry dancer, and he has giant wings, but not a flyer. But yeah, looking into that, he is the 4-star, so he has pretty terrible skills. So Groom's Wing, honestly not that bad. Grants res +3, and at the start of turn, grants special cooldown, count -1 to support partners. So if you run 3 of him, and this is very possible, if you have 3 of him and he's supported with like Zelgius, then you can have instant Black Luna. It's basically infantry pulse, but to to any unit, and you don't have to have more HP. Even though his HP is huge, I'm pretty sure. 38. It's not too much, but certainly not a bad unit for HP. Firestorm Dance, that was on Lene, I believe. Obviously not the best skill, not the worst skill either, but it's a dance skill, and I believe it's the worst one or the worst dual one at least, because I know Earth Dance gave 5 defense. What was the speed one called? Gale Dance, I believe, and Gale Dance gave 4, and Blaze Dance gave 3. So Great Attack Speed 3 isn't nearly as good as when you look at Geyser Dance, which is on Shigure. It's I think it's +5. I could be wrong. 4 or 5. I don't know. It's definitely better. And then Ward Beast. It's not too uncommon. Ward Beast was on. Caden had Ward Beasts. Caden had Goad Beast. I don't remember who Ward Beast was on. That's alright. But yeah, Broomwing having the Wodow effect doesn't really do a whole lot, especially because he doesn't come with a special and he's a dancer, so he shouldn't be getting into that much combat either way. Also, there's no advantage of having him being transformed. Like for Rayson or Leanne, you get the extra movement. That you get 3 movement on a flyer, which is incredible. But having Rafiel transformed gets you it's only things in combat, which mean close to nothing in my opinion. I guess you do have the advantage of being able to run lulls and being able to run Flashing Blade, like at best. But aside from that, he doesn't get a whole lot. Kind of sucks for him. At least he's an accessible dancer. Is pretty nice though. For sure. Once again, high res, low defense, very high speed. So Flashing Blade is an option if you want to run like Wings of Mercy Gale Force. Oopsies. If you want to run Wings of Mercy Gale Force with Flashing Blade Seal, that's definitely an option. Not to mention that he has the support. If you want to run it on a Gale Force team, then he puts cooldown charge -1 on any unit that he's ally supported with. So you can run it with like Resplendent Elliewood per se, and you can run a good Gale Force team. He just doesn't seem that accessible. Like he's a 4-star granted, but I don't see anybody wailing on this banner for 4-star Rafiel. Next is Nailah. You see Nailah coming with 41 speed at 35 attack, which is pretty average. 31 defense and 25 res. Obviously, she's not nearly as good as her her base kit, or her not base kit, her blue ult, but nonetheless her weapon gives her a run for her money. So Bride Fang, which is infantry beast again, accelerates special trigger cooldown -1. So that's already Moonbow down to 1 charge if you keep her base kit. At the start of combat, if foe's HP is under 75, it's more than 75, then inflicts attack speed defense -5. That's a little interesting to me because a lot of people ran Wrath as her B skill on her because she basically had like triple. If you ran Wrath B skill, then she had triple Wrath. So you get grant special cooldown count -1 after combat. So it's trying to be special spiral, basically. Basically, you're hitting the Moonbow on a 1 charge thing. So you should have. Okay. So here I'm gonna break this down for you. So what they want to do is they want to run Nailah and Rafiel together. So Rafiel will bring her charge down to 1, or down from 1 to 0, and then she'll proc it, kill, and then her weapon, basically, it says after combat cooldown count -1. So it's basically saying that it'll be ready for next turn. I believe that's what it's trying to do. So Fire 3, we all know what that does. Very good skill. A little strange to see a unit like this, which should be one-shotting, have this much speed and this much into speed. I believe she has 41 base speed, and then add 7 to that, so she's clearly fast, but this kind of build sounds like a one-shot build. Sorry, her Fang sounds like a one-shot build. Chill speed defense, and I understand this. I know it's a crummy skill, but I think chill defense would have worked better. I still would have liked to, if you look at her stats, she had 41 attack and 35 speed. I think she would have been much better. Obviously, that's nothing like Nailah. Like, Nailah's a very fast character as it is, but her Fang really, could really use a one-shot build, especially if you want to run. I don't know if are these units in Unit Builder yet? If they are, then I will show them off. One moment. Oh, they are here. Okay. So I'll do that in a second. So I definitely think that Nailah would be a little bit better with an attack set rather than a speedy set. After glare after combat, if unit attacked inflicts status. It's basically gravity if they attack you, or if Nailah attacks, which is definitely good. And coming up, we have Groom Hinata, which is a very strange art, but it's out. So guess they're a little late on that. What? 47 HP, which is ginormous, by the way. 37 attack, definitely not bad. He's basically running mostly attack and defense. Res and speed are pretty poor, not trying too hard, and he has attack, defense, bond, and close guard. I don't remember what. I can read his weapon. So his weapon, it's down here. I'm pretty sure his weapon is the same as Oboro's. If bonus is active on a unit, attack defense +4. Yeah, it's the same weapon. And he's getting reciprocal aid, which I find a little interesting. I'm not sure which skill is at 4-star, but either attack, defense, bond 4, or close guard. Both are pretty accessible. Attack, defense, bond 3, by the way, not 4. Attack, defense, bond available through Rutger, and close guard available through Death Knight. Also, the seals coming up. We have even speed wave, which I kind of surprised we don't have, and the last bond available, which is a speed def bond. So we can look forward to that. I guess the people who are making this graphic are, instead of using a third seal, are putting the ephemera there, but that's fine. I will be using Micaiah, Sos, base and hopefully a Bridal Micaiah I will be pulling tonight on my Twitch stream, which I will link in the description. But I really want just one copy because I adore Micaiah. I think she's a fantastic unit, and I have all of her her other alts. I have base Micaiah at +5. I have Dancing Micaiah at base merge, and I have the CYL Micaiah or Brave Micaiah at +2. So I really want to finish my Micaiah emblem. So I will be pulling for tonight. So let's go into making these units. So Nailah, first of all, I would have made her an attack unit, not a speed oriented unit. So I definitely think this is a great build for her. Just plug in repo. I think Moonbow's fine. I think Glimmer's good, but if you want to do a lot of damage, you can run something like Luna or Draconic Aura, and then either Heavy Blade 4 or Flashing Blade 4. That's why I wanted her to have more attack. So I think I guess Flashing Blade 4 with 46 speed is good enough, especially because of her the debuffs that she gets or that she provides, and excuse me, and her Fang. So true damage is definitely going to be nice, and she's proccing Luna basically every combat. Oh wait, I'm doing this very wrong. Never mind. I thought of that wrong. Flashing Blade would not do very much because it's still cooldown -1, not like a hit. So I think Moonbow is still the play here. Either Moonbow or Glimmer. It's really your choice. For this, you can run. I wouldn't run a Raisin because realistically you want her to stay at full HP, because her debuff from her Fang only goes off if you're above 75%. So I guess you can realistically you can keep Swiss Bear 3. Certainly not a bad option. You don't want to keep Wrath or you don't want to put Wrath on there because why would you? Really counteracting the above 75% debuff thing. I guess it's coverage if you want to do one of each. I wouldn't really run Renewal, but chill speed def 2 is not great for in my opinion. I would run low speed defense. I spelled that wrong. Low speed defense. Just Salt in the Wound, I guess. Very good skill. If you want, you can keep Glare. Makes her a better hit and run unit. It's certainly not bad. What else even is there? Joint drive attack always doesn't hurt, and she's trying to get as much damage as possible. So, would not surprise me if you joint drive attack, glare, all good skills. Even defense smoke. Sorry, not just defense smoke is a great skill. Regardless, pulse smoke is fine. Realistically, I would keep glare. It's a fine skill. Maybe defense smoke because it's cheap, but glare nonetheless does the job. As far as skills go, you can run Swift Sparrow, or you can run something like Deathblow, which is what I would recommend. The only reason I'm not running Deathblow A-Skill is just because why would you run Deathblow A-Skill? Because you have to run DB4. She's hitting the same attack as Deathblow 3, and you would only be getting 2 more attack for DB4. And what's 2 attack to 7 speed, realistically? But Deathblow Seal is certainly not bad. Can't spell. Deathblow 3 is certainly not bad. So that would be the player phase if you want to opt for a player phase Nailah. Next thing you go over an enemy phase Nailah, which is very, very possible with her 31 defense, 25 res. That's certainly not bad. So if you want to run a defensive Nailah with like plus defense or plus res, then you would be looking at something like this. So you can actually kill base Nailah. doing? You can kill a base Nailah if you want. Honestly, I wouldn't really recommend it. But another thing you have to remember, she can run this move, this skill, double close. Wait, can beast not run close call? Am I stupid? I am stupid. Never mind, she can't run close call. That'd be so good. Her speed is 46. Her speed is sky high. No, so you can run like attack. You can run a different lull, which I find to be pretty good nonetheless. Run attack smoke. And you can run something like, you can run Aether, you can run, what else? Honestly? Aether's okay because it's slang, but I would realistically want to run like, I don't even know. That's another thing, hold on, I didn't even get to that, never mind. I thought, don't run a tanking build. You can do this, which I totally forgot about. So you can run a advantage build with this, which is insane, by the way. So that is, if you're running this with Rafiel, that is Moonbow every single combat, every single hit basically, unless you're doubling, which is very possible, but that's Moonbow every time, because her Fang essentially is budget special spiral, and if you're running Rafiel, then you get it first turn as well, which is absurd, because Moonbow's cooldown is at 1 cooldown, and her Fang basically does that whole thing for her. It's basically like special spiral. Insane build, to say the least. Next up is Rafiel, just because. So the way I would run Rafiel is very simple. So you want him to be like a budget Raisin. He's not great. Where is Sing? Okay, pretend like Sing is there. I'm not too sure why it's not. Pretend like Sing is there. Run Gale Force. Just because he's not going to be getting into combat too much, but when he does, you might as well have him do it again. Ace Skill, you're going to want a Flashing Blade, either 3 or 4. I'm just going to put 4 because this is an ideal build. But the next thing you're going to do is you're going to want to run Chills, because I do not think he's a very good offensive unit, so I'm running double Chills. Oh wait, never mind, he's a huge res dot. You can run a Sabotage skill. So you can run Sabotage, either Sabotage attack, anything really works. C skills, you can run, I guess he's an infantry unit, so you can run Fortified Beast, I guess. Fortify or Horn Beast, either one works. I would run Hoon Beasts, but that's just me. Next up, and for seals, you can run extra speed, you can run a ploy, or chill, really. I was running chills because I forgot how huge his defense was. I would run, if you're running defense, if you're running Sabo attack, you can run speed ploy. Certainly not bad. Another thing, if you don't want to run Sabotage, you think that's too expensive, Chills are fine. Wings of Mercy is good. Wings of Mercy is probably preferred, honestly, but that's just how it works. Wings of Mercy is a fine choice, to say the least. Let's see. Next we can do Oboro. Let's see, what do I want on Oboro? So you can keep, well, for the sake of the video, we'll keep the weapon. Obviously, you're gonna want defense for fun because she has no other skills. Speed's okay, but I know other stats. Speed's okay. Defense with a rally plus. Kind of forgot about that. Rallies pretty much get thrown on every unit. I think this is the same rally that's on Nino, but nonetheless, it's there. A skills. Defense with attack, defense form, but I would run something like close defense. Close defense 3. When close defense 4 comes out, she'll probably be a really good unit of it. Or actually, she'll probably be better with steady stance 3 or steady stance 4, or either of the alternatives, whether that be steady posture 3 or sturdy stance 3. Let's see. B skills. She doesn't come with a B skill, I'm pretty sure. But for B skills, you can run. She has an odd pulse tie. Definitely don't want to keep that, in my opinion. You get up to. I'm going to do plus defense, but you can do plus attack. You can even make a speedy one if you want. 52 HP, certainly not bad. Almost pretty good for a unit if you want to run infantry pulse, but it does not seem worth it for a unit that is not even 4-star for this banner. So if you for whatever reason 5-star plus 10 Oboro, by all means you can run infantry pulse, but I don't see that being worth it. QR is fine. There's no real need for guard. Sabotage obviously is really bad for her. She can run spiral, I guess. Wrath is always nice. There's plenty of options. And because she's got that steady breath-esque effect, you can run QR seal. I'll do that. Quick riposte seal, and you can run. Let's see. Her speed's pretty high. Never mind, she doesn't need. She can do that. Oh, let me do this, because this is definitely better. And I would usually do this type of thing on stream, but I wanted to finally record a video. Because I've been waiting for this for a while. If you want to be really gross, you can run something like this. So you can run. That's pumping a whole lot of speed and a whole lot of defense. Just in general. As far as C skills, I haven't really thought about this one. As for attack smoke is probably your best bet if you want to run something like that. Let's go attack smoke. Obviously, infantry pulse is a fine option, but she is not really meant for being an HP bot. She is perfectly fine as a surprisingly speedy unit at, what is that? That's an effective, that's 53 speed, which is insane. Not to mention that she has steady breath effect and her weapon. Let's see, what would be the best thing? She can run noontime by herself. She doesn't even need Brave Lucina. Honestly, you can just run noontime and be fine. If you run noontime, and I would say distant counter, but her res is so bad. I don't know. She's a good unit nonetheless. If you find a unit like I have a Mordecai that is a very similar thing to this, but he doesn't run repel. He's running sturdy stance 3 and special spiral. Special spiral and bonfire. So he's basically, if there's ever a unit on the enemy team that does not, this is ever a team that does not deal any res damage, like how some people do beast teams. A lot of times you'll see like a full beast team and like a corner, I don't know, Nagi, anything like that. Like if there's a dragon in the corner and that's the only res unit, then you can just throw something like Oboro in and she just will not care. Because her defense is sky high. That's 49. That's 59 defense. With a pledge blade is 63, I believe. Which is absolutely absurd. That's before buffs and attack smoke and everything like that. So she's a fantastic unit for that. And I'm pretty sure you can run a similar thing with Hinata. Obviously he hasn't hit the speed, but you can certainly run something like this on Hinata. What's his weapon called? Huge Fan. So you can basically run a similar build. I'm just gonna build this Hinata like I'm building my my Mordecai. You see, sturdy stance 3, special spiral. I just see this is a fantastic unit. Attack smoke, and for heal he has a brazen. And this is very, very overkill in my opinion, but he's almost certainly getting tinged by anything hitting for defense. The only reason I had the Oboro with noontime and not a brazen is because if she's reducing that much damage from I think it's 53 speed. Yes, 53 speed. Then she does not really need a brazen because she will almost never be hitting that range regardless, especially with noontime healing. But for characters like Hinata, for instance, with his defenses, it's 55 before brazen, before attack smoke. And before huge fan. So that's with everything counted up, with brazen, with attack smoke, with huge fan. That's, let's see, 55, 59, 66. Attack smoke is 7. I think attack smoke is 6. So, okay, let me do that again. I lost track. Okay, that's 55, 59, 66, 72. 72 effective defense after your first initiation. And as long as it's not a res unit, because 26 res with no buff is kind of terrible. So once again, as long as there's no res unit, you should be fine there. And this is before blessings too. So if you want to run this on like Astra, which is what I'm doing, and if you want to run Altana 1 Naga, that's even more defense, even more attack. He's fine. Lastly, before we get into the duo skill, we'll do a Micaiah build. So I saw this build a little while ago on 1000 FEH's Twitter, if you know who he is. Very good Aetherids player. Loves Micaiah, and I have to agree. This set is incredible. Okay, unit builder. So I'm pretty sure what might is her weapon. Her weapon is 17 might, effectively. She has 17 might weapon, and you run Miracle. It's basically a close counter advantage build. I don't know why I said basically. It is a close counter advantage build. For Cecil's, you can either run Ret Smoke or Joint Drive Attack. I've seen both. I prefer Red Smoke because it's a bit cheaper, and I'm personally not building a Brunia. I think Red Smoke's a tiny bit better, unless you're running like a Sabotage skill, which I know a lot of people are. And lastly, for seals, you can run something like Fierce Stance. Once again, I know it's very similar to the Nailah build, but nonetheless, it's a great build. It's hitting a ton of attack, and if you use Sabotage, not Sabotage, what am I saying? If you use Sacrifice, which is her unique assist skill, you can safely put your damage, like, you can safely lower your damage without, you know, without any harm. It's like Ardent Sacrifice, but you can do it for any amount of HP. Miracle obviously helps, and her Tome, once again, that is attack res +6 during combat. That, I believe that part is regardless of phase, and that is a ton of attack. That is, let me add 17 attack +6. 17 attack gives her 61 +6 is 67 attack before anything else, and that's with Fierce Stance. And now let's go over her incredibly broken duo skill. So her duo skill, one second, we'll pull up an image. Essentially, her duo skill inflicts this new stance called Dominance. So here it is. So what this Dominance skill does is it effectively grants Broadleaf to every single unit for one turn. And if anyone doesn't know what Broadleaf is, it's Broadleaf Fan from Summer Luna, or it's basically the effect of Matthew's dagger or Ursula's tome. It grants bonus damage based on your the foe's penalties. So it's kind of like a Blade Tome. Blade Tome calculates all of your buffs and it adds it to your attack. This calculates your foe's debuffs and adds it to your attack. It's the same principle. And because that in fact obviously wasn't enough, it also grants Def Res -6. Oh, sorry, Def Res -7. So that is why you would want to run something like Joint Drive Attack rather than Res Smoke, because everybody in theory should have the Res -7 from the dual skill if you use it at the right time. So this is where Joint Drive Attack comes in. Because usually I would recommend something like Res Smoke. But oh, by the way, that was at +0. Those are her +10 stats, and that's without a weapon, which is kind of insane. So once again, if you're running like something like, I know I personally have a Tamari dagger on my air, you can, that's basically an Omni debuff because my air has 46 res, I believe, and that's hitting most units. And then this is Def Res -7, so that is a total of 7 + 7 + 5. That's 24 damage. Sorry, 24 extra damage at the very least. Because Blade Tomes are stupid and Broadleaf is worse. So that's 24 effective, not effective. That's 24 essentially true damage. And then that is Micaiah's insane attack stat plus an effective weapon. Just crazy amounts of attack. So, wrapping up, Nailah can run very offensive, very close kind advantage, or sorry, distant kind advantage. Very good build, especially with her special spiral thing. This is just a dancer. Gale Force, Wings of Mercy, pretty standard. I've seen a lot of people do this with Racing, and I believe you can run Quick Impulse if you want. If you want Gale Force without getting hit, which I know a lot of people do. You have Oboro running insane speed, and you have Hinata running the same build but for attack rather than speed, and this is doing extra damage at the cost. Hinata has a little more res, but he has no speed compared to Oboro. And lastly, we have duo Micaiah wreaking havoc. So, without further ado, thank you for watching. Sorry, it's a bit lengthy. I will be live, however, at I believe 9:30 Central Time, which is a little before 11 Eastern Time, which I know a lot of people are on. Do a little test stream, do a little stuff before I start summoning, but I am going to be summoning for one duo Micaiah at, once again, 9:30 CST roughly. Link will be in the description, and thank you all for watching. Bye.